Let's get a recap of today's market action. New year, same market, record highs here for the S&P and for the NASDAQ. You could see tech shares leading the way higher with the NASDAQ up by 1.5%. So it continues.
It continues. 2018, same as 2017.
What you miss. As Bitcoin becomes more mainstream, criminals are finding other currencies of choice. Monero is a cryptocurrency designed to avoid tracking, and it's become increasingly popular as law enforcers adopt new software tools to monitor people using Bitcoin. Here with more details is Bloomberg senior editor and reporter Rob Urban. Rob, great to have you with us. How is Monero avoiding detection? And explain how that differs from Bitcoin, because we've been talking endlessly about how Bitcoin's used for criminals too.
Bitcoin is famous for being anonymous, but there's a difference between anonymous and untraceable. So you can trace transactions. In fact, that's the whole idea of Bitcoin. You have the blockchain, and every transaction there ever was from the day one is on the
transparency.
Bitcoin
So how does
blockchain. The transactions with Bitcoin, well, with all of them, are between wallets. So you see a wallet, you don't actually have a name associated with it. But there are many places where you do have to give your name. Say if you bought your Bitcoin on Coinbase exchange, they require that. Monero, Zcash, there are some others out there that use various methods to either encrypt the sender's the sender and receiver information, or in the case of Monero, they actually create a false trail. They create all these other fake addresses. So the software that law enforcement and others have used to try to track the transactions gets immediately lost.
Shouldn't this be banned?
Who's going to ban it?
But aren't you deliberately doing something here that law enforcement's regulators can't track?
At what point, I mean, it does feel like regulators have been very behind on all this in terms of regulating every aspect of this. Does this seem like something that regulators are going to start getting more aggressive about?
Well, I guess we should speak to the Bitcoin regulator. I guess we all know who that is. Wait, actually, I have no idea.
No, yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. I mean, there's not really, it's extremely lightly regulated. This is sort of outside of the realm of regulation. Where regulation comes in, as I was mentioning, is when you transfer from dollars or euros or whatever to Bitcoin. So that's the exchanges, and many exchanges do have know your customer laws and all those kinds of things.
So how's Monero used right now? We say that the criminal underworld has taken to it, but what exactly are they doing with it, or how is it being transacted?
Well, it's very popular for ransom. Of course, you
mean hacking, like ransomware?
Well, very common things. They'll take over a computer system. It's happened around the world with police departments and hospitals and towns, and individuals, businesses, and demand to be paid off in Monero. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go get the Monero, and there are ways to do that on exchanges, and then transfer it to them.
Tell me about the good reasons why Monero can be used and Zcash as opposed to I sound like an American, Zcash, Zcash.
It's happening. It's slowly happening.
I know. Because, like I just said, should this not be banned? If it's purposely being used for nefarious means or cloaked means, give me a reason why this is being used for positive utility reasons that you wouldn't use Bitcoin for, or one of the other cryptocurrencies.
If the ability to make anonymous transactions is a reason why you should ban a certain kind of money, we shouldn't ban cash, because cash is totally anonymous. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies generally are in some ways a response to concerns about privacy and other things like that.
Yeah.
It's true that crime is often involved, but
the suitcase of cash, though, is a giveaway in this sense.
Classic reason, or classic criminal tell. The other big news today, the report that Peter Thiel has a big Bitcoin stake. So 2018 starting with a massive rally across all the cryptocurrencies. Yeah,
well, I kind of assumed that the downturn at the end of December was going to be relatively temporary. Silicon Valley has been big into cryptocurrencies from the beginning, so I guess it's not entirely shocking that Peter Thiel would be be interested in it. But yeah, I think the question of what can pop a Bitcoin bubble may very well be an Ethereum bubble or a Zcash bubble or something like that, because there doesn't seem to be anything else that will do it.
Aren't Princeton University working on trying to find a way to understand how and where these transactions are being done on Zcash? Yeah,
well, there's all kinds of research going on. It's the old radar detectors and speeding police or radar and radar detectors. It's a battle. It goes back and forth.
It reminds me of that film Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, well, exactly. But as I said, privacy was sort of the reason for this. One of the main reasons for these currencies to be created. So.
Yeah.
And feels like Bitcoin is still yesterday if we're talking about Monero and Zcash.
So 2017.
Exactly. Rob Urban.
Don't forget Ripple.
Ripple, yes. Ether.
Yes.
And what was the other one that we forgot? Have I forgotten?
There are hundreds.
I was about to say.
There's so many altcoins. All right.
There's actually a Jesus Cash.
Jesus?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Jesus coin, yeah.
As in Jesus?
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay, we'll look for the quote on VCCY.com. Thank you so much, Rob Urban.
Coming up, investors' eyes were glued to the tax bill drama this fall. But